Well, hello Flickering Myth family, and welcome to our channel. My name is EJ, and in this video, we are diving into, it's not just a traditional review, we're going to look at a couple things in this video. First off, we're going to be talking about G20, the new Amazon Prime action thriller that is quite fun. We'll talk about that in a moment, but we're also going to be talking about how ass-kicking Viola Davis is in this role and how I want to see more of that. Tying into that, where are all the female-led action movies? We used to have a lot of them. Now it's just like we're begging for one or two this year. Oh my goodness, we have a lot to get into. So let's talk about G20, Viola Davis, and female-led action movies right now. Jumping into G20, I have to say this brings me back to those type of action thriller movies we would have got every Friday in the 90s. You know what they are. It's very Air Force One. It's very Speed. It's very, the type of movies that we loved and craved and that we need more of these days. Yeah, Patricia Higgin, who is a filmmaker I don't normally associate with these type of movies, she really conjures up that 90s action blockbuster thriller quality. It is so good to have. We love these type of movies and we don't get them enough, and we also have a fun kind of presidential story that we have seen though with things like White House Down and what was the other one, Olympus Has Fallen. Those very similar movies that came out at one point. Yeah, I like these type of vibes. They're simple and easy to get into. It's fun to see the comedy be cheesy. Yeah, there are some jokes in here that it was kind of like groan worthy, but I liked that there was jokes and there was an attempt at being humorous. On the other flip side though, the action was pretty brutal. I was surprised every time someone was killed. I was like, oh, there's some good blood splatter there, or that was a pretty inventive, fun kind of kill. Would not have expected that. I liked that kind of stuff. It was really cool to see that this felt so nostalgic in a way, and we'll talk about more of me wanting these type of action movies mostly led by a female in a bit, but I loved seeing this type of action film. We also had Antony Starr, who is a great villain on The Boys on Amazon. He's also a great villain here, playing the Hans Gruber. You know what kind of role he's playing. You know what kind of movie this is. It is basically Viola Davis getting her Die Hard. We love that though. We need that. We need at least every year to get well, that's just Die Hard but at the G20 summit. That's just Die Hard but in space. We love those type of premises, and we got it here. I will say this was pretty, again, competently made. Everything just kind of flowed together. Was it wholly original? No, we've seen these type of movies, as I just listed, 85 different references, but something about this had a charm. Something about this just had a sleek filmmaking to it. I don't know if it was the weird cryptocurrency, Bitcoin kind of evil foe, then we add an AI. I'm like, ooh, that was all interesting stuff. I don't know if it's just like talking about crashing, the money markets, and I'm like, very relevant to what's going on just this week. Yeah, this movie just had a way of sucking me in, and it was just like, oh, every time I was like, now we're at like her son and her daughter and her husband trying to get free on their own story. I kept thinking that was going to be boring, and then Marsai Martin is eating up her work, and I'm like, oh my goodness, everyone is just, every turn that I was just like, and here we go to the point I don't like, but wait, I'm still liking the movie. Those are just things that, like, I'm not trying to be negative about it, but when you get into these type of movies, you fall into a flow and a rhyme and a reason. You get it. But every time we would get into one of the typical territories, it just would subvert it a little bit. It would just have a nice edge to it that worked for me. I liked the villain and hero face-off at the end of the movie. It was typical, but it was also kind of fun. I loved the message of family throughout. That was easy and simple to get into. This movie wasn't trying to reinvent the wheel. It had political messages and it had, its own commentary to say, but it just wasn't doing it in a way that felt, and now let's stop to give the lesson of the day. No, it just was fun. It was easy to get into. All the action, all the humor, and all the thrills just flowed together for an overall great experience. One of the more shocking things for me is seeing Viola Davis kick this much ass. We've seen her in action movies. Hell, she's Amanda Waller in some of the DC films. That is an action role enough for a lot of people. She was in Widows, which is a great film as well. She has a good quality to it, but she's never taken the, as we kind of dubbed, the Liam Neeson Taken route, the older actor kind of getting into the action genre. Bob Odenkirk has had one. We've seen, again, countless. We had, the Red movies that had multiple of these characters. I like to see this type of older actress, who's again not old, but someone you wouldn't normally cast into a action role, and to see it well. And Viola Davis has this quality about her. I say give her another EGOT for being able to make this movie watchable. If she was not the lead actress, if I did not spend time with President Sutton in this movie, I don't know if I would have liked it as much. And that's no diss to the script, that's no diss to the director, but that is just, to me, again, having good director, good script, and good acting all coming together to make it great. Like, it leaped above what it should have been. And again, I really want to say Viola Davis is probably that key factor here. And I love what she was saying recently of like, I don't need to be in Oscar contenders all the time. I want to just make a fun movie. And she just really lives in this world well. She's believable, but she also makes this very silly premise very grounded. There's just a moment where she's silently reflecting before she's probably gonna like risk her life and end up not being able to see her family ever again. She's so good in that moment. And it's so like, oh, again, any other actor could have done that role well, but she did it amazingly. And that's that key to having a movie star. Viola Davis is a movie star to me. She makes a movie watchable by just being in it. Leonardo DiCaprio. Nowadays, we have someone like Timothée Chalamet who has that quality. You have Denzel Washington. I mean, hell, he just saved Gladiator 2 not too long ago. We have these actors, these movie stars, these people who make movies feel larger than life. And she's just one of those. She just adds this flair, this oomph. She made this movie feel real, even when some of the action scenes felt like, well, Viola Davis' stunt double's taking over this moment, that still was like, okay, I'm in it. The body double playing Viola Davis felt like they could have won an EGOT because it was just being Viola Davis. Like, it's just, this movie had a quality, a charm to it that is otherworldly, that just brought me to like a, holy hell, this movie should have just been a straight to streaming Amazon movie I would have forgot in 3 hours, but this movie is going to be one that I honestly recommend to a lot more people, and Viola Davis is that recommendation factor. I don't know if it's just because not too long ago I was watching Charlie's Angels, the movie from 2000, directed by Mick G, or if I'm craving another Atomic Blonde, a Lucy, or Tomb Raider reboot, another one, sure, we'll see it. Or maybe I'm just eagerly anticipating Ballerina from later this year. But where are the female-led action movies? Where are the girls at? Yeah, I know we have a problem with woke nowadays, and there's a woman in an action movie, and y'all are going to be scared of it, but I'll take Melissa McCarthy in Spy. Like, you know what I mean? Just something about this era of film. Miss Congeniality, add comedy to it, I don't care. My goodness, I just miss something about this kind of era, and I just feel like Hollywood has not written these type of female-led action movies well. Look at Captain Marvel, a movie I try not to hate on too often, but it's not good. So, that's a big budget action movie. But then you see Wonder Woman, the complete opposite. Well written, well handled, acting light there, but fine acting in that first one. Kal-El, no, I would not forget the other times, but yeah, I love something about a female-led action movie. There's other qualities and plays to it that can work. There's jokes that just fall into it that can be a little on the nose, but also feel relatable. It's a different story, it's a different element, and it just works well. But something about G20 and something about Viola Davis's portrayal in it, if this character was a male president, the movie would have worked as well. Like, and it's just interesting that she can play this role that makes her her womanhood a key factor into this, but also it's a decent enough movie that, yeah, another good actor, gotta be good because Viola Davis is very good in this, another good actor could have made this good, and that's a good, strong script. Because again, I love Atomic Blonde. Atomic Blonde had nothing really to do with her being a spy other than using her sexuality, but we've seen that with James Bond. So there's just so many qualities and little keys to just a female action movie that I'm hungry for. And yes, it just feels like we're not getting enough. Maybe Hollywood's scared of it because, again, we haven't written them well, so then the poorly written ones have kind of hurt the representation of good ones. So you're just like, oh, we can't get good ones because we can't really even make the mediocre ones like tolerable. And then everyone's just so quick to get so hateful on the internet, but no one's really complained about G20. I'm sure the Bitcoin bros have their own feelings and all that jazz, but no one seems angry about this film. And I don't know if it's that movie star quality, or maybe we are turning a point where we want female-led action movies like we used to have in the 90s and the 2000s that we are missing, that we're craving, just from the action thriller elements that we're not getting to the female-led quality of it. I'm just hungry for movies like this, and we're not getting them. At least we're not getting good ones. What did you think of G20 on Amazon this weekend? I had a good time with it. I highly recommend it. This is going to be one I tell my friends about, I tell my parents about. I actually am telling you guys about it right now. Check it out on Amazon whenever you guys get a chance. It's a fun little weekend watch. Let me know what you think of the movie. Let me know what you think of the review right down in the comments below. I'm getting over a cold, so sorry I sound all stuffed up, but look, I felt sick. I'm still getting over a cold, but I felt motivated enough to review a movie. Honestly, I'll put that on my Rotten Tomatoes. That should sell you alone. All right, guys, let me know what you think. Comment down below, subscribe, all that jazz, and let's talk about this movie right down below.